What's going on, guys? Handsome in the house. And on today's podcast, we have the runner-up in the dynamic, the never done before Tillery Success Solutions show, the Real Estate Protege with Brian Karp. We have Andrea on the podcast. Gonna be a banger. Check it out. Yeah, kid, welcome back to another episode of the Handsome Homebuyer podcast. My name is Charles, AKA the Handsome Homebuyer, AKA
Mercurio Maravilloso.
You missed the Captain Permit. It's just going to shit real fast. It's Friday. Any event, we are back. Obviously, I'm the Handsome Homebuyer, so if you have a house that smells like Cappy, commercial property, land, notes, anything real estate related in the 5 boroughs and Long Island, I'm quick, I'm easy. Lord knows I'm a good time, and
I want to buy it.
Thank you, sir. And then when you say it, you have such a much, like, I would give anything to have a voice like that.
Bro, even better. You just ask me and I'll just do it whenever you want.
It's like, it's just smooth. You're like the Turkish Barry White. With that said, we are here on the podcast series of creating a top agent. For those of you who don't know, every month we are bringing in a new agent, and the 4 of us are going to collaborate, kick it around in the attempt to elevate, give back to the ecosystem. Because you guys feel like recently, like in the last 6 months, like things are changing. I feel like things are changing in the sense that we're like coming together as an industry, and everyone's like really helping each other, and as a result, like leaps and bounds, we are progressing leaps and bounds in the residential world. And it's awesome. Yeah. It is a very, very cool thing.
100%.
So this is part of that. I have my co-hosts on my left.
Dan O'Neill of the O'Neill team at Signature Premier Properties.
On my right.
JB Bolvadin, founder and CEO of Tillery Success Solutions, number one training coach in real estate. And
to the left.
Andrea Licastie from Douglas Elliman.
We have our guest. And Andrea was recently on the Real Estate Protege. Mm-hmm. For those of you who do not know about the Real Estate Protege, you're going to know. We're going to let JB give the rundown on the inspiration, what it is, what happened. It was drama for days. It was a nail biter. I was honored, and Dan as well, to be guests on it for a day. And I learned more in 2 hours than I've learned in the last 6 years in regards to sales and real estate sales and agent sales.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, so the Real Estate Protege is basically designed to be the most ultimate job interview in the real estate industry ever. Brian Karp, who's one of the largest real estate, I don't want to call him a team because he did it by himself initially. Mm-hmm. Now he's building on his team finally. One of the most highest sales in the country in real estate, and he was looking for a protege to grow his team. So 8 agents competed over 4 days. And when I say 4 days, we started at 4 a.m. We didn't get there at 4 a.m. We rolled, camera rolling. We're actually shooting this thing 4 a.m. We went until 7 or 8, 9 o'clock at night, depending on the day. And we tested them emotionally, physically, their skill sets, ability to work in teams, literally pushed to the limits where you cannot fake who you are. Things got exposed, people really flourished, and other people were really found. And it led to really breaking it down to 2 of the best finalists I've ever seen in my career as far as like potential bands. And one of them sitting with us right now, Andrea.
Oh. I was like, what is he doing?
That's your cue. That's your cue. Yeah. So talk about when it airs.
So it airs, the episode 1, it's going to be 4 parts. First part will air on the 19th of February, and we'll release it every day after. So the finale will be the 22nd. We have a private finale party, red carpet event. Everyone here will be going, and then some. And then you guys will really see who the Real Estate Protege is.
So if you're a real estate agent anywhere in the world, you got to watch it. If you're a real estate attorney anywhere in the world, you got to watch it.
When does this air?
After the finale.
After the finale. We're good. So you're free. You're free. You're free to say anything you want. Yeah. If you're a mortgage person anywhere in the world, you want to watch it. Am I missing anything else?
Look, I mean, I think anyone who really wants to level up and see what the human being is real, like the actual being is possible, you should watch it, because whatever you think is possible, you're wrong. And I mean that in a good way, in an inspiring way. Like watch it so you can really see where you're at. Because everyone who went there to the Real Estate Protege, where they were a guest, when they left, and these are all high performing people, they're like, yo, I got to get my shit together.
Yeah.
I got to pick up more. Like, I'm not doing enough.
Yeah. I mean, I could use one of Brian's Tic Tacs right now. One of those little, those limitless pills. Yes. I'm fading out. But I mean, we just said it on the last podcast that we just did, but that was one of the coolest experiences for me, you know, getting to watch Brian recruit and bring people on. Like that was something that 3 years ago when I first got started that I would have killed for.
Oh, yeah.
And now to have the opportunity to be one of the judges, right, that he had brought on, me and Charles, it was just such an amazing experience. And it was like the coolest thing in the world because while everything else was going on, me and Brian were just like working in the room. So like he's answering his calls. He's getting everything read to him from Siri. He's answering, he's responding back to agents. I'm doing this. I'm saying, hey, Brian, how do you handle this situation? Or how do you handle that? And he's doing the same with me. So it was one of the coolest experiences to be there. And also it was like laugh out loud funny because you guys are out of your damn minds. Like,
yes.
but that's how Brian is, and that's how he runs his business. Like, so to share my perspective of it, like you told me about it a couple times, right? Like in passing, but then it's like the day before. So JB's like, yo, you got to be there at 4 a.m. at the football field. I'm like, 4 a.m. at the football field. I'm like, what the hell? What are you talking about? So I'm like, all right. So I tell Grace,
That
like,
didn't happen, right?
So I tell Grace, I'm like, yo, I got to be there at 4 a.m. Like, this is Brian Carp. I'm doing this, JB, 4 a.m. I wake up, I got a couple missed calls from him. My alarm goes off, it's 4 a.m. I'm like, no shot. Boom. And, snooze button. No chance, snooze button. So then I wake up, whatever. So I got there like 9 a.m. and by then they'd already played football. JB's already in a cast, like his foot is mangled. And they're setting up this like IKEA furniture.
Yeah.
With like a blindfold on. And I walk in the elevator, I'm like, what in God's name is like going on here? Like you guys are out of your minds. So as the day progresses, it was honestly one of like the coolest and most fun experiences I've ever had in real estate. And I was so fortunate to be a part of it. And you definitely very much so impressed me and I think everybody else that was there.
Thank you.
And I think also like, since this is airing after, I think one of the funniest things too, like sitting next to Charles, you and Brian were dead serious. Brian brought up something about like the UFC, like, like, oh, last night with Poirier and McGregor, like talking about like how that ties into like real estate. And you start going up and you're like, well, yeah, Poirier, he got his ankles, he got him into this chokehold and that, and she starts going off about it.
Yeah, what happened?
And I look at you and I'm trying to like not laugh and like keep it in, but what an experience. And I'm super excited for that to air.
So speaking of experience, I'm curious to know what did you think you were in for before you got there, and then what actually went on?
So I had like no idea what to expect, but I just knew that I had to be involved because it was like a dream to be in the same room as Brian Carp and as well JB. So just taking a step back, I just feel so like grateful to be with you guys right now. Like I swear to God, a month ago I was watching this podcast with Amanda and I was like, oh my God, like I would do anything to just be in her spot and like be in front of all three of you. And I was like, how do I get Dan O'Neill to know who I am? Because we know common people.
That's a crazy like thing to hear.
Even a year ago, like if you would have told me I'd be in this situation, like I'm blessed for your time and like humble. But going back to the real estate Protege, I was just ready for whatever they were gonna make me do. Like I didn't care what.
There's no way you were ready to play football 4 a.m. That was the craziest. I laugh out loud funny stuff.
Honestly, it's crazy because that's when I felt the most comfortable.
Was playing football?
Yeah.
Well, because you were an athlete, right?
killed it.
I'm an athlete.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I'm in my workout clothes. I have my hair up. Now I'm in my natural habitat. So besides it being 4 a.m., like,
Right.
that didn't even matter because I was like, adrenaline was pumping.
I think one of the other funniest stories of that day for me was the fact that, so I showed up at the time and JB's in, he's in like an ace bandage. So his foot's in an ace bandage and he can't walk. Like, but he's not really, you're not complaining about it. You're not really, no complaints. You're just like, can you roll me? So the entire day we're rolling JB around in like a computer chair. Yeah. And I'm thinking in my head, like, all right, come on, like, stand up, like you're good. Meanwhile, he's got, this ace bandage on and whatever. So long story short, we're kind of like making fun of JB a little bit all day, right? Like, teasing him, just chirping him. Fast forward 3 or 4 days later, I'm on the phone with Brian and he's like, yeah, dude, JB went to the ER and actually he tore his Achilles, broke his foot, and broke every single toe in his foot. So, like, you got to share that story because that was like, not like, it's not funny, but like.
No, dude, it is funny. I mean, because literally, so what happened is, I think it was karma. Mm-hmm. So Joe, who's one of the contestants who really came a long way, when we got on the football field, I looked at him, I was like, bro, he's going to get hurt. And he's gonna dramatize it. And it's not gonna go well. So literally, he jumps up in the air and just see him roll on the ground like, oh, and I'm like, what a puss. So then, and I mean that. So this is why it's karma.
Yeah,
that's why I should talk about people. So they start losing, and just be careful how you post that.
I was gonna say,
Joe, because that's a good story in the end. So.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
like insulting him.
It was a joke though. It gets more appropriate in there. So literally what happens is I see that he actually got hurt pretty bad, and now they're losing. The other team's calling me out to come onto the field.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna come onto the field. Let's do this. So I go out onto the field, and then I go out we tied up, right? I think we were tied up by the time I got off the field. So we tied up, which is good. We're making some progress. Literally, a ball comes up. I run to try and stop the pass. When I do, this other contestant, Deanna, comes up to me, and I start slowing down because I think if I plow her, I'm literally going to be fine. But I feel like that's not going to look good on camera. Just plow someone.
Yeah.
Especially if they're a girl. So I slow down. I do like a half hop. She like ninja sweeps me.
I know she did it.
Like it's by accident.
Is it on camera?
Yes, it's on slow motion.
That's so funny.
We have it on slow motion so you can see
dude,
the play.
I have to see it.
I turn. I like as I fall because instead of landing like this in the air, I get changed up. I hear pop.
Oh.
And when I hear pop, I'm like, damn it! And literally, I'm thinking, I cannot believe I just got Joe'd right now.
Dude, I pull up and I literally, I'm in the elevator. I get out. The one kid, Joe's got like his shoes off. He's hobbling around. JB can't get up. He's in a cast. I'm like, bro, it's 8 a.m. Like, what is happening, dude? Like,
But here's what I'll tell you about Joe, because the dude is just as tough. Like, he started to assemble that furniture. He was standing. He was not going anywhere. So at that moment, like, he definitely, like, I had a lot of respect for him. And I didn't go to the hospital till like 4 days later. And I wasn't going to go because I was like, there's no way it's broken, because if it was broken, I wouldn't be able to take it. And Dana, like, forced me. She's like, no, you're going to hospital. It does not look good. I was like, it looks fine. It was like, it's like a burrito. And then we found out it was actually pretty busted up. But yeah, that's what happened with that. But dude, I mean, literally, I will never. One is you don't substitute anyone. If you criticize anyone, you sub them. You will get cursed and get the same injury. And two is he's a lot tougher. So he came a long way. He did so well. So I'm really proud of what Joe did too. And Joe, I don't think you're a wuss at all. I think you're actually an animal now.
So Real Estate Protege, got to check it out. It's going to be amazing. You did unbelievably well. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
So going with the theme of the show, let's talk about your business, right?
Okay.
So you're here, you got us, right? Let's talk about, so how long you been in real estate for?
I got my license officially 2 years this month.
Okay, so you've been in
2
real
years
estate
ago.
for 2 years.
Yes.
You know, what's your model? What are the things that you're doing that are working? What are the things that the struggles that you're having? What are the goals that you have? Let's just start to flush it out.
So right now, I'm a real estate photographer.
Okay.
So when I got my license, I have like a media background, film background, love photography. So when I got my license 2 years ago, I was not in a spot where I could not have income.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, how do I kind of bring what I already know into this field and still learn real estate, getting, in touch with people in the field? So I was like, oh, who takes the listing photos? So the secretary at the office that I was working at, she connected me with one of the preferred vendors.
sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
No,
I'm just
it's okay.
thinking like who actually does take photography on Long Island? Like
There's not
I know
that many
who,
people that do it.
there's not. Like
Yeah,
the
it's
people that we
very-
use have like a monopoly on
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
really.
Yeah, and there's a lot of opportunity in that business. I think.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's a crazy amount of
Yeah.
opportunity. So I work for a company called Jump Visual, and they're one of the preferred vendors for Douglas Elliman. So I had kind of got into it at a great time. I think I'm one of, I don't know if I'm the only one, but one of the only that does it like full time. So if an agent calls me, like I'm gonna get them in within the next,
Right.
if they need me there, I'm going.
Okay.
So I've been doing that, the real
Okay.
estate photography, and
That's your full time.
absolutely-
That's your full time.
yeah,
Okay.
and I love it. But I know that that's not the vehicle to my path to success and what I really want to do with my life. So, and
Okay.
I love real estate. I love selling it. So about, was it last year? No, 2019, like a few months after getting my license, I joined a team, not knowing that team was about to end. So I was like really excited. I joined the team. I was doing open houses like every weekend.
Is that
like,
with Brianna?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so I was on Bree's team, and I was doing open houses. I was meeting with buyers. I was like, oh, all right, this is it. Like, I'm going to get this going. 2-3 months into joining the team falls apart. So I'm like, all right, here I am again. And that was like towards the end of 2019. Here we are, 2020, not knowing like what was about to happen with the pandemic, I was like, all right, I was looking and like interested in finding a new team. I just didn't know which way to go.
Right.
And I was like, let me just figure this out. Let me take it slow. And then the pandemic hit, and then photography just like took off last year. I was nonstop. But I also was selling it a little bit last year as well.
So talk about the team thing for a minute, right? I'm curious here, but how I think teams are very important, right? And I think they're very, they can really help agents take off. The issue is there's probably only like one good team on Long Island, right?
Right.
The only team. So, but how, so
agree.
just talk about that for a second. So talk about just, the momentum that you had with the team, how important the team was. And then when that momentum, when the team fell apart, why did the momentum stop?
So joining a team as an agent, a new agent, I think is the best thing anybody can do, because you're around the energy, you're around like-minded people, you're getting ideas, and you have your team leader who you're going to call if you have any questions. They're going to help you. So learning the business, you might feel like nervous, oh, can I call my manager? Your manager might not answer. But if you're on a team, you have that support 24/7. So I highly suggest it. So when the team ended, I didn't know which way to go, because the two leaders were kind of like branching out. They weren't like starting their own teams right away. They wanted to, but I just felt like, all right, well, it wasn't the way I wanted to go. So, like I said, I didn't have the opportunity to find that new team right away like I wanted to.
So is the goal so photography is your main gig and selling real estate is kind of like your side hustle?
As of right now.
And the point is to build the side hustle up to be better than the
Absolutely.
first
You know what's cool though? Like we always talk about perception is reality on the show. Like I recently started following you after meeting you at the Real Estate Protege, and
I thought you were a hella busy agent.
me too. So like you're posting. I guess now it makes sense. Like I just had this epiphany that you're taking pictures of the houses that you're taking pictures of, but you're posting that on your story.
Yeah.
And I thought that I was gonna say to you, like, what the hell? The last 2 weeks, I feel like you got 10 listings.
Yeah. That's why I said when it was here before, I was like, do you have an open house? And you're like, I don't have a listing. And I was like, I swear, it looks like you're active, crushing it,
right? Like that's how I thought too.
I'm in 4 or 5 homes a day that I'm photographing, and I see beautiful homes.
They're gorgeous.
So,
I thought you were like Mr. Mrs. $1 Million listing. Like I'm like, holy crap! Like
one day, that's the goal.
She has the potential for sure.
Oh, absolutely, agreed.
So how do we convert from photography? How do we convert the side hustle from being a side hustle to being your main gig? So what are the issues that you're having? What are the obstacles? Talk us through it.
The obstacles is myself, and just like preventing myself from just taking that leap. I'm afraid to go all in, because I don't want to fail, but I don't want to be in a spot where, oh my God, now how am I going to pay rent? I have no money coming in. So the photography part is like my cushion. It's how I put food on the table. So
how many hours a week are you doing that?
The real estate photography. I mean, I'll go 6-7 days depending. Right now this is like slow season for me,
right?
But I'm still photographing at least 4 homes a day.
Wow.
Give or take.
What if you brought on help too for the real estate photography? What if you outsourced it so that way you could actually even spend a little bit more time on real estate, but you're also still getting some of that money? It's just maybe you're getting a fraction of the money, or you're getting majority of the
company,
money.
right? She works for a company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not her thing.
Yep. Right. Yeah, people. I mean, they're always messaging me about the homes that I'm showing. They don't know if I'm listing it, buying it, selling it, photographing it, but they just see that I'm in beautiful homes. So,
how much do you like? Do you like real estate photography?
I love it.
How much do you love it?
I absolutely love it.
Do you love it more than selling real estate?
No.
You want to sell real estate more?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you want to sell real estate more because you think you make more money doing that, or do you just can't breathe without selling real estate? You love it that much?
Well, because every time I'm in a house that I'm photographing, I'm like, there's no reason why I can't list this house and sell it, or find a buyer, or because I love it. I love everything about it.
But that, like, if you could make let's say $100,000. If you can make $100,000 doing real estate photography or selling real estate, it's going to take the same amount of effort, same amount of time every week. You can only do one. Which one do you do?
I would sell it.
You would sell it?
Because I have to photograph a lot of homes to make $100,000 a year.
The only no. So take that out of the question. All right. So you could sell. It takes the same amount of time.
Okay.
What I'm trying to gauge here is what your passion is. Like, I can't do anything other than what I'm doing now.
Right.
Because I couldn't breathe without it.
Right.
So what I'm trying to, people a lot of times get caught up in money and things like that. I'm just curious to know, like, is your true passion photography or is your true passion selling real estate? Because whatever your true passion is, you can make a shit ton of money at it.
Right.
But it has to be your true passion.
Right.
So which one is it?
It would be selling it. I love it.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I love both, but I know that I can always, like, if I'm going to be successful in selling real estate, I'm always going to have that ability to photograph my listings. So I'm always going to take that with me. That love's never going to go anywhere.
You're not going to photograph your listings because that's not the highest and best use of your time. So you start selling real
Find a
estate,
photographer better than me then.
you give up, and you might not. Not everyone's going to be as good as you, but they have, just as long as they're good enough, that's fine.
Right.
But do you see where I'm going with this?
Yes.
You're not going to have time to take pictures because you're going to be running around getting a
Right.
million listings.
Right.
You're cool with that?
Yes.
Okay.
I promise you I'm cool with that.
I just want to make sure. I was just trying to gauge you. You can have multiple passions and like a
Which
bunch
I
of different
do.
things. I just wanted to make sure because sometimes a lot of people call me up and they're like, Charles, I want to do what you do, right? I want to flip houses. And then we start getting into it and I talk about I ask them about their life and what kind of life they want to have and this and that. And as it turns out, they really like their own existing business. They're just not as successful as they want to be. And then they recalibrate and they take off doing that. Yeah. So I was just, because I don't know you as well as JB does.
Right.
That was the only reason why I was asking that.
Right.
So I guess, so is it a matter of let's get organized, let's get a plan together? Mm-hmm. So I basically did exactly what you did. So I owned a body shop franchise called Mako before I was ever in real estate. Read Rich Dad Poor Dad and said, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to be a professional investor. So I ran my body shop business like 60 hours a week. And then at night and on the weekends, 7 days a week, I would work on real estate until I did 2 deals 1 year. And then I was like, I put the business up for sale and sold it. Because I'm like, I have this money to carry me through the next year and nothing's going to stop me from being successful. So that's basically like to JB's point before, that's what we have to do with you. So what does your day look like? You work 7 days a week pretty much?
During peak season, I'm going, 7 days a week.
So how do we compartmentalize to get you the time you need? Like, what's the time you're going to be working on real estate? And then what kind of action items are we going to put together to get you to get the business to enable you to go from one to the other?
Yeah, so with the photography, I pretty much work for myself. Yes, I'm contracted with the company, but I make my own schedule.
Okay.
So my goal is to still be able to, make some money, dedicate a certain amount of time each day. This is when I'm going to take appointments for photography.
Okay.
And then this is when I'm going to be cold calling. This is when I'm going to be doing this. And that's what I really need to do is just structure my day.
Are you doing that right now or you're not? Are you structured or are you not structured?
I mean, I'm not really structured, but I'm starting after going through what I went through.
You don't have a choice at that point.
the light bulb has went off, and but that really pushed me.
Yeah.
But I need more guidance, 100%.
Structure is very important because I'm not great at it and I try and I'm getting better at it. And that's like the one thing. So let's say how many hours? So let's say 7 days a week, how many hours a day? Let's set up a schedule now, basically.
Okay.
So let's set up a schedule for when you're going to be taking pictures. And then let's set up a schedule for when you're working on real estate.
Okay.
And then let's put together a list of things that you're going to do daily on the lead gen side to start work either with buyers and sellers.
Okay.
So what is your schedule going to be for photography?
2 to 5, like Dan said.
Okay, so 2 to 5.
I think that's good because that's like peak time, like lighting wise, sun wise.
Yeah.
So I think,
Cool.
2 to 5 is good because, like you said, if I'm taking out buyers, most of them are working all day. They don't want to meet until 5:36.
Right.
Perfect.
And then mornings, I'll just cold call. Maybe I'll do like the flyers, like you said. So I think that's like a good start.
Just be productive.
Productive,
Like
yeah.
the biggest thing is just being productive in
Yeah.
any way, shape, or form. Like,
Yeah.
sometimes like I even realize like, I'll be like, what did I just do for the last hour? But maybe I was changing my email signature, or I was on showing time, or I was looking up inventory. I was just doing something real estate related,
Yeah.
or listening to a podcast, watching something. So if you just occupy those hours with real estate related knowledge and content and activities, you're going to succeed. And if you continue to even post out the same way that we all thought that you had all these amazing listings, if you just keep doing like that alone is going to, people are going to start messaging you. They're going to start realizing, wow, you're crushing it. You're killing it. And if you do all these things, you're going to just expedite you jumping in full time because you have
This is
it.
your Instagram, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'll come back to that in a second. But
Okay.
so, but let's say do we want her doing cold calls? Do we want her door knocking? Like how many a day? What's let's get real granular with it. She gets it. so she knows exactly what it is.
Sure. I mean, I'd go back to the same formula
Yeah.
that we discussed, which is do the 2.
We just did this all.
Yeah. So it would be do the 2, and the way that works is it's going to be 100 calls and 100 doors. So that adds up to 200, which should get you 2 appointments. And if it doesn't get you 2 appointments, you keep going until you get 2 appointments for the day.
Okay. So
You know?
2 appointments per day.
Per day.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not extreme. It's actually very, very doable. You know,
Okay.
the thing about being good at sales is about you don't need to close anybody.
Right.
They're going to close themselves. You just have to guide them there.
Right.
You know, sales is actually like, that's why a lot of people who are like retired teachers tend to be good at real estate because they spend a lot of time educating. And a good salesperson, all they do is just educate people. So I'm going to give you a tip that when you're actually lead generating, if you follow this, you'll be able to literally close anyone, anytime, always. But this has to be real to you, what I'm about to say. What if I told you that the human mind, anyone who's not insane, is incapable of making a wrong decision? What would you tell me?
I'm insane.
What if I tell you you've never made a wrong choice
Okay.
in your entire life?
I believe you, maybe.
Okay. Well, I'm going to actually prove to you guys and everyone watching that it's true. So a lot of people believe that, like, for example, they like, I don't know what to say. I don't know if they're going to do the right thing. How does this all work?
Right.
So I'll prove to you right now that you've never made a wrong choice or a wrong decision in your entire life. Do you have a regret? Have you ever had a regret in your life?
No,
Of course.
Yes.
Okay.
not me really.
Okay. So if you had a regret, what is a regret? A regret is you have new data that had you known that prior to,
You wouldn't have done it.
you wouldn't have done it, which means that no one is bad at making decisions. They're just bad at collecting data. Because when you give someone the right data, they'll always make the right decision.
That's really funny.
So the goal is when you talk to someone is to address the objections that never came up yet and give them all the right data, and they'll always make the right decision. If you treat someone like they're very intelligent, they'll act intelligent. If you treat someone like they have confidence, they'll act confident. If you treat someone like they're rich, they'll act rich. So you need to grant people beingness and then give them data that they need to make a decision, and it'll always convert. And we could talk about more of that offline, exactly like how to actually like work that cycle. But I want you to have that level of like certainty and aggression when you're doing this, because literally, sales is not like a thing you do to get deals. It's just really like what you do as a way of life. And the better you are at it, you don't get what you deserve in life. You get what you negotiate, right?
Right.
So the better you get at this, your life will get better, not just your income. So when you start doing these things and getting these appointments, don't think like it's a hard thing to do. It's very easy. People want to meet people all the time. You just have to make sure you're saying the right things, because you want to get their attention before you can get their business. And a lot of people try and get their business before they get their attention. It never works. And that's where you look for these zinger objection handles. Like, what did this say this? What do I say there? Oh, it didn't work. It didn't work because you never connected. You never got their attention to begin with.
Right.
So I think really the true definition of being a salesperson is being an effective communicator. So like all you're essentially doing is effectively communicating the benefits of your product or service, or in this case, it's you. And you have to genuinely feel that what you're offering is exceptional, and that you would be doing them a disservice by not educating them on that, because they go with somebody else, they're not going to get as good a service.
Right.
Right. And then in general, there's really no secret to any of this. You need at-bats. So in order to have at-bats, you need to have conversations. In order to have conversations, you need to be putting yourself out there constantly in many different ways.
Right.
All right. So I think if we set, like JB was saying, X amount of cold calls a day. So now we have the time block, X amount of cold calls a day, door knocking, flyers, circle
Prospecting.
prospecting.
Social media,
Social media.
So
open houses from within your office and
Yeah.
your company.
So like we were talking with, you should reach out to Douglas Element and say who doesn't want to do an open house, I'll do it for them, and do as many as you possibly can in the time frame that makes sense. And you're gonna network with other realtors, because you never know who's gonna send you a referral. Like Brian's not going to Belmore to sell a house. He's not doing it.
Right.
If he knows that you're in that area and he likes you, he's giving you a listing, you're gonna give him a referral.
Absolutely.
So it's good to be friends with as many agents as possible, and then buyers that come in without agents, or buyers that come in that hate their agents and are looking to leave, you're building that relationship. So now you have that. Once people decide that they're curious about you, they're going to start looking you up. So there are people that call me who are like, I heard about you, then I looked you up, I saw your videos, you're out of your goddamn mind, but it's like really funny, so I want to work with you or sell you my house that stink like cat piss because I think you are nuts. So at that point, it's very important, what are you putting out there for people? So if you didn't know yourself and I said, look at this Instagram, is that the Instagram of somebody that sells real estate?
Absolutely not.
Exactly. It's like, it's a personal thing. You like photography. It's family. I mean, that's a cute dog. I love dogs.
That's my boy.
But
So wait, can I just say something?
Of course.
I'm your dog's favorite realtor, just saying. That's my name.
okay, I like it.
But if you look at my bio, so I do have a separate business page for my real estate, but I have a plan to take my content to the next level.
So, no, that's great. So let's talk about it
Okay.
because you get like 3 seconds to make an impression, right? I look at this, I'm like, this isn't someone that I feel comfortable selling my house with because I don't think she has like the experience.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So, I'm not going to say fake it till you make it, right? But because you're in all these houses taking these pictures,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about the legalities of this, so I'm going to have to tap you guys on this one.
Okay.
But like, if you're taking pictures of houses or making videos talking about a house that's listed on the market or going to be listed on the market as another realtor, can you do that?
She needs permission from that listing agent to market their listing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
She can do it, but with permission.
Right. So there are some agents that I photograph all their listings, and they do know that I'm an agent.
Okay.
Some of them don't. It depends on the person. It depends on the vibe. If it comes up, I have no problem talking about it.
Sure.
But a lot of Douglas Elliman agents that I photograph for know that I'm also in the business of selling real estate. So
we'll make a little bit of a right turn. So if that's the case, then we have to leverage other things. When you're in a market and you're taking pictures and you notice like, oh, I've taken a lot of pictures in Merrick, make a quick video. I'm in Merrick, houses flying, blah, blah, blah. Like come up with, lists of videos, just lists of ideas and concepts. Think about, people always say to me like, I don't know what to come up with. Like, I don't know what content to put out. Think about your interactions with buyers and sellers on a daily basis, or even realtors, mortgage people, whatever it is. And whatever you talk about, just turn it into a question.
I mean, here's one video idea for you. Since you have the real estate photography background, do an educational video on how to prepare your house for real estate photography. Declutter, clean, paint. If you have any, cats or dogs, get the smell out, whatever it is. Boom, there's your first TikTok. There's your first video. Go on your profile and you don't have to delete or anything, but think of your Instagram as your business card.
Right.
Like we talked about it on the previous podcast. I have 1,000 posts on my Instagram, but I went back and I archived a bunch of them. So now when you look at my page, there's only 60 of them. It's from when I started the team on, and it's real estate and lifestyle. And what I found is I first had the real estate separate and my page, they were two different entities, but at the end of the day, the same people that are looking at your personal page are probably going to be the same people looking at your Instagram page, and you're posting the same stuff for the most part. It's going to be sold, active, listening, whatever. So combine those pages, and if you have a video of you maybe giving the middle finger when you were in college and you were 18, delete it or archive it, right? Like we all had it, whatever. So go back and maybe do an audit of your social media. So that way, if I meet you at Insignia or if I meet you somewhere and I get your card and now I look you up and I look at your profile, I'm like, damn, you're killing it. Like you are I got to use you. You're the neighborhood expert and you have a cute dog.
Right.
But if I look at your page and I don't know if you're a photographer or if you're a realtor or if you have, whatever different pages, I'm probably going to go on to the next one. It's not going to engage me. So that would be like a tip that I would do right away is, sorry, go ahead.
No, go.
I was just gonna say I would combine the pages and make it real estate and lifestyle, and that's something that I did and I implemented, and it worked.
Okay.
Like your situation is also like just what you're doing is very relatable. Meaning, a lot of people are in a job that they absolutely hate, and they have a side hustle or want to have a side hustle. This just the process of you documenting what you're doing. Like you could have like a quick web series that's like a daily thing. You can call it the transition, right? And today's with the transition, because you're transitioning from what you do now full time to what you really want to do. And you could just talk about that process and what's going on and what you've done today to take you to the next level. And people are going to start to, follow you and gain traction just off that because they really want to do that. So they want to experience it through you.
Right.
And you'll definitely inspire people to go down that road as well. In the meantime, you're just going to get attention.
Keep a journal of all this stuff too. Like all of the houses that you're going on and you're taking pictures of and the neighborhoods and what this sale price was or what this list price is, whatever it may be. Like it's going to help you with knowing the market better. It's going to help you knowing neighborhoods better. Like you probably know more neighborhoods than I do because you're there, taking pictures. Right. Yeah. So keep a journal, for that type of stuff. And that way you can look back on and it'll just give you a better, like now you're really the neighborhood expert because you've already been there. You've already done it.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the thing. So I live in West Islip right now, and I absolutely love the South Shore. So I'm originally from Lake Grove. I moved to West Islip last year, so I really want to brand myself on the South Shore. I love the idea of being by the water, right by the town of Babylon, Bayshore. Like those are great, little strips. So I do really want to take my content to the next level. I do plan on starting a podcast actually this month.
Bam.
Nice.
I'm actually doing it with Kolka. You inspired me. I love the whole studio vibe, lights, and like having my guests feel like, wow, this is real, this is important. So I actually have a name.
Let's hear it.
It's called Rise and Resilience with Andrea. Nice. Resilience is a huge word. I use that probably the whole week.
Yeah.
But that's like a really special word for me, is just being resilient.
Yeah.
So I plan on doing that.
We better be invited on the show.
Absolutely. So right now I'm only doing 2 episodes a month.
Nice.
So I have my first 2 for this month. Hopefully within the next 2 weeks we'll film it, and then by the end of this month it will air.
Nice.
And then I really do want it to like take really cool videos. You know, just not. I don't mind doing it with my phone and winging it, but like my mentality is like all or nothing, right? So if I'm gonna go into this, I'm gonna do a podcast that's no joke in a great studio. You know, I'm gonna get a videographer who's no joke, who's gonna, you know.
Of course,
that's cool.
So that's my plan.
But just don't. I understand what you're saying, but. Don't get hung up on it, right? Don't get hung up on the perfection, because getting hung up on perfection delays, action.
Right.
And action really yields results more than perfection.
Oh my God! If you saw Charles's first podcast, the audio was like
it was in a roach-infested basement with no video.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Just do it. I have people that get like this analysis by paralysis by analysis, whatever type of scenario, and just doing it and putting it out is really what makes it happen.
No, I agree.
I'm really stuck on this my downtown thing because I keep pitching it to people and nobody wants to do it, and I think it's a great idea, which is if you like Babylon Village, I would come out with a YouTube series or like an IGTV series and call it My Downtown. And I would walk through Babylon and be like, you want to live in Babylon because it's fucking awesome because this, why this. Yeah. And then you're going to walk in the stores and you're going to like interview store owners.
That's what I wanted to do.
On the street and be like, why do you love Babylon? Why do you love Babylon?
Yeah.
And you can use the TikTok platform, even though I don't know how to use the damn thing, but I know that you could figure it out to create these like custom looking videos for free.
Absolutely.
And it just cements you. Like once you become known as the person in a town, you just replicate the model in other places.
Right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And getting the first 20% of a market share in real estate is very easy, believe it or not. Because what happens is that after 20%, the absorption becomes very difficult. Whenever someone new with a certain level of aggression comes in, all the attention shifts there because people are so used to something there. You know, imagine you walk into a parking lot, it's the same cars every single day, and now there's a new shiny car there.
Right.
Even if you don't like that car, your eyes are going to go there. So you can be that new shiny car in those areas.
Definitely.
You have to like just push hard. And I would create like a whole docu-series. Like I would make it like use your video editing and other skills and make it like funny, but people know what's going on. Like, why aren't houses selling in this area? Why are so many disappearing off the market so fast? We find out. And then literally go open up the doors like heartbeat, boom, 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 boom.
Oh, you know how to edit
you open it out and then it just goes out.
Oh, that's a freaking
video I do, floor plans, Matterport, drone.
Oh, wow.
I mean, come on.
My fiance helps me with the drone and he helps me with editing.
Awesome.
Yeah, so you could just create something like really like, create something catchy and funny.
Yeah.
And don't try and go viral because the video that you go viral with will be the one that you weren't trying to go viral with. Just try and make something where you get attention.
Right.
And then lead it off to something. But you have a lot of things in your arsenal that you can use.
Definitely.
And you should. Just remember this. When you wake up every morning, other real estate agents are tired. They're distracted. They're lazy. And they like to make excuses. They don't have the budget or the time to create the type of content you'll create. Just make a list of everything they won't do and get really good at that. And here's what they'll do. They'll go into apathy about it. They would say, forget Andrea, I'll just go for number 3. I'm not going to try and compete with her. That's what's happening with Dan now. Like people don't want to like say, I'm going to beat Dan. Just be like, all right, Dan's the 1. Right. And I'll just be number 3.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'll just be number 2. So that's kind of like that's what's happening now. So what you want to do is you want to go so big in what you're doing where everyone, like if 90% of the marketplace goes, all right, I'm just going to just whatever. That's what you do, That's why, like, when me and Charles shot episode 1 of Hot Rides in Real Estate when he came on as a guest, I started to hear chatter that other people were about to, like, do the show. So I banged out, like 10 episodes in, like, 10 weeks. Because I said, all right, getting one nice car is one thing. Putting everything, then everyone else just, like, dropped that idea. Because now to top it, you have to do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is just go down a list of this is what your competition won't do, and you do it. And if you're very creative, so you can make $1 million production for $1,000. You know what I mean? And any skill sets you don't have, you can learn quickly because you already have the base knowledge of it. So take all that you have right now and just really start creating a lot of content. Have long-term projects, short-term stuff and just gets like super aggressive in what you're doing, and it'll work well. Just outproduce everybody. If you can't outspend them, outwork them. And sometimes if you can't out-network them, out-create them. So you'll always have something you'll always be able to develop an edge over someone else on.
As a closeout, is there any other questions or just things that you want to talk about with us?
Put her on the spot.
That's a tough question. I mean,
It's my stomach.
That's my stomach too. It's all of our stomachs.
Get me the samurai steak.
Oh my God.
Get me the samurai steak.
For those listening, if we sound a little bit dead on this one, it's because we've been doing this for 8 hours.
I don't have many questions, but I just appreciate everything that you guys do. You know, your energy. I love being around people like you. I feed off of it, and it's just good vibes, and I could talk to you guys forever. So I just feel blessed to be in this seat right now.
No,
You're
we
gonna crush
appreciate you
it.
coming.
For real.
We appreciate you coming. It was
Yeah.
awesome to see you in action
Thank
on
you.
the Protege.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Check her out. She did amazing.
Yes.
Sign off, my man on the left.
Dan O'Neill, the O'Neill team at Signature Premier Properties. Let's go get some food, please.
On the right,
JB Bolvadin, Total Success Solutions.
Andrea.
Andrea Licastie, Douglas Elliman.
Handsome.
516777 sold to the samurai sword.
Yes.
That's a wrap.
Yeah, that is so funny.
Oh my God.